Hey, good morning. What do I have up? I have my favorite chart, the SPY chart. I love the SPY chart, and that's what we're going to be talking about shortly. But first, understand tomorrow, reading from my daughter's school. So Romeo will be doing a live stream at 8:45. A lot of you have heard about Romeo. Those of you on our Discord, Romeo's going live pre-market this morning at 9:15. He'll be doing his normal lesson and live trading. I've got the SPY up. Why? Because we're going to be talking about the ranges of the SPY. It's pretty important today. I don't know why I can never see my head when I do that. It's so weird. Okay, let's talk about the news stories, right? Things that are going to affect the market. Well, first, this isn't going to affect the market today, but this was interesting. Wall Street and numerous hedge funds lined up against SEC Chairman Gary Gensler to overhaul the New York stock market trading system. They lined up against him. So when Gensler was thinking about resetting the way to make trading more fair, who lined up against him? Hedge funds. Why? Hedge funds are here to steal your money. Reason I am here to help you out, understand the market, and process what these hedge funds are doing. But let's remember, I spent 5 years on Wall Street, worked for numerous hedge funds, et cetera, et cetera. The SEC received more than 35,000 separate tips and complaints and referrals from whistleblowers last year, more than double 2016. So, I mean, companies are struggling. Companies are cheating. Understand there's more news to break. Maybe even some of your favorite companies. Speaking about my favorite company, McDonald's, they closed all of their U.S. offices and temporarily and are announcing major layoffs this week. McDonald's, right? McDonald's, same store sales up year after year. What happened with oil over the weekend? Okay, well, we got China, Russia, Brazil, the Saudis. They're all entering into an agreement. They agree to cut oil. Iran, Iraq, whoever else is included in the Middle East, cutting oil 1.6 million barrels a day. What does that do? Instability to our market. First off, oil shoots up, 5%. Then Japan buys Russian oil and they break the truce or the pact with their allies. Why are they buying Russian oil above the price cap? Well, it's a out of necessity. That's what they said. There was like an excuse like that. But oil prices rise. How many people think that is good for inflation? Nobody. Oil prices go up. Energy prices go up. Prices of everything else goes up. So it's going to hurt inflation. It's going to make the Fed, this oil crisis is going to make the Fed say like, oh shit, we still have to worry about inflation. And what are we going to do? Well, I guarantee if you look at the Fed swaps rate this morning to check out the Fed's, what are the chances they're going to raise 25 basis points in May? I bet you it went up from 50-50 being not so sure if they're going to raise to it's probably around 72 to 75%. If I had to guess, I haven't looked. Okay, so where can the SPY go? Let's talk about the SPY. I do have some other stories on what's going out on news this week. And again, anybody that missed it, tomorrow morning, 8:45, Romeo will be taking my slot and going live with you as I have to read to my daughter's class. With that said, Romeo's live trading on our Discord at 9:15. So please join our Discord, soc-platform.com. Okay, SPY levels. Off book, off exchange, reported in the dark pool on Friday, 403.64. So please, if you're around me, take a pen, take a pencil, write it, type it in your phone, 403.64. Why? Because if the market goes down, I'm looking for support right at the 403.64 level. That is key. Last week, I mentioned two other dark pool transactions at 403.62 and 403.63. So understand, in my mind, dealing with institutions, banks, someone taking a large position twice last week, once on Friday, tells me that 403.64 is going to be a level of support. And yes, we're sitting at 409.38. We're probably down pre-market. What another interesting points? 409.46, 409.47, over 1.5 billion of SPY reportedly exchanged at that levels. Why is that important? Because we closed right at that level on Friday and understand we are down pre-market. So if I'm looking for a top side or a resistance level, I'm going to come up with 409.46. Where are we this morning? 408.54. So we're probably down 80 cents, which is what? 0.49%, something to that extent, probably. Okay, so that we'll talk more about the SPY when I bring that up. Interesting fact, Tesla had their deliveries numbers came out, right? They beat by a little. Now, here's the catch. With Tesla beating by a little, delivering a few more cars than they're supposed to, 423,000 versus 421,000. Let's remember, Tesla cut prices at least once, I believe in August, and I believe again in November. So I think they cut prices twice towards the end of last year. You would think their last quarter numbers and their first quarter numbers go up, but no, only beating by 2,423 versus 421. That's not going to do it. I've got the specific breakdowns. Here's the list of countries that are going to produce or sell less barrels of oil per day: Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, Dubai, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Algeria, and Oman. And the only one that surprises me that could be on there is Kuwait, because they were kind of our friends, but I guess not. Saudis doesn't surprise me. Russia doesn't surprise me. Iraq doesn't surprise me. The United Emirates doesn't surprise me. Kuwait, yes. Kazakhstan, no. Algeria and Oman, so small, I'm kind of surprised. Okay, back to quarter four of Tesla. Yeah, those are the oil surprises, right? Okay, interesting fact: SPY 15% away from its all-time high. Interesting fact: SPY 15% away from the October 22nd low. So understand, we're still in the middle. Yes, we were very bearish, very oversold. We went down. We touched 485. Then we touched again last week, 492 to the beginning of last week. So what's likely to happen? Well, it's definitely likely a continuation of a chop. I know the markets were really strong last week. However, we're getting to the upper ends of the boiling bands. We're getting to the upper ends of some other technical charts that I personally use. And I'm seeing, here's the key. We're either going to break out, boom, break out, skyrocket higher, and you're going to see 422 on the SPY. 422, which would be 13 points higher, which would be about 3.5% this week. Okay. Oh, you know me, I love percent. Or we're going to reject and we're going to go down, and that 392 number will be in play. The 393.60 number that I mentioned before will be in play. Now, here's the interesting fact. Oh, shit, I just forgot it. Oh, okay, right. So if we are in a recession and stocks went up 16% as a whole in quarter number one, the market went up 16%, okay? The likelihood of us having a back-to-back quarter one and quarter two stock market going up is relatively zero. It's happened 2 times in the past 100 years when the economy is in recession, which we are in recession. Okay, you do that by 2 negative GDP quarters. So you say we're in recession, stock market went up 16% first quarter, likelihood of a consecutive quarter increase. It's only happened twice. I think it was 38, and I think it was 1983. So some of you, most of you, I wasn't alive in 1938. I was alive in 1983. Okay, best performing stocks of quarter number one. NVIDIA up 90%. What the F? 90%? Either it was severely undervalued or way too frothy. Now, the likelihood is it's probably somewhere in the middle. Meta, okay, remember Meta last year? I was talking about Meta, how Mark Zuckerberg always beat on earnings and then he screwed earnings like 3 straight quarters. Meta is up 76% this year. Tesla 68% this year. AMD 51% this year, and WBD, I think that's what is it? Warner Brothers Discovery, something like that. I think it's up 58.3% this year. That's pretty fucking crazy. Excuse my language. Back to NVIDIA. NVIDIA is showing a double top, a 98% rally higher in 13 weeks. The last 12 out of 13 weeks, NVIDIA has gone higher, okay? So those same skills that got you inside and into NVIDIA, and some of you, I heard Love call out NVIDIA a number of times. She was bullish, and she was like, and I'm like, how's it going to go past 250? Boom, 262, 275. Point is, the same way NVIDIA rode up, I'm expecting NVIDIA to ride down. I gave a lesson on this a couple of, I wonder if I still have it open. I wrote this out like a month ago or 5 weeks ago, and I was giving a NVIDIA lesson, and I said, okay, here's the problem. NVIDIA goes up from 235 all the way to 275, and you've got no time left in your puts. That's when I was starting to be bearish NVIDIA, when it was around 242. Okay, so the reason that I'm giving this lesson is because in the example I use, I say 1 month later, markets are down, NVIDIA is back to 240. So crazy as it sounds, sometimes I make predictions. I write them in one area. I find them months later. Win is going crazy this morning. Casino stocks are going crazy because Macau gaming revenue, boom, skyrocketed higher. China opened the borders between China and Macau. Everybody can go to Macau and gamble. Asian people, I used to gamble a lot with them. Anyway, they love their baccarat, and baccarat's a crazy easy game to take a lot of money. Okay, so again, SPY upside, potential. We can go to 422 before we reject. That's if we're going to be extremely bullish again this week. Here's an interesting thing, and I'm probably going to drop a video on this. Somebody that I respect greatly asked their chat GPT, right, their AI, hey, what are the best 5 coins to invest in, crypto coins to invest in this upcoming year? And chat GPT actually responded with Stellar, XLM, Cardano, ADA, Chainlink, which is Link, Tezos, XTZ, and Neo, NEO. All 5 of those had significant gains in 2021. So, I mean, they're definitely on my radar. I was going to do a little more research, do a video, and actually invest in those cryptos because AI, chat, GBT is telling me to. Key level for the SPY, I'm looking at 412 as well. 412 is the upper ends of one of my charts that I drew out. So, again, you got to pay attention. And here's where my trading strategy is changing this week. I've been mentioning Snapchat, DraftKings, NVIDIA, Roblox. I even mentioned Lucid. I mentioned specific stocks, and then I've been trading, and I don't give myself, or I give myself enough time, or I'm wrong to start. I could have gotten a better price. So I'm changing my strategy because I am damn accurate with market direction. And I'm going to say that's what I'm going to trade this week. I'm going to be trading SPX, and I'm going to be trading the SPY. And I'm going to be trading both puts and calls. And I'm going to be looking at rejection and support. Again, let's get into those levels. So how would I do that? First thing is I'm going to do is share my screen with you all. So let me just share my screen. And we'll get on. And I'm going to look up the levels of the dark pool because, again, a lot of people don't think the dark pool matters. However, to educate everybody one last time, and I've said this so many times, in the dark pool is over 50% of your activity that's traded. So if there's like $1 trillion traded in the market between various stocks and ETFs, understand that the dark pool is probably trading 1 trillion as well. Whatever the market is trading, the dark pool is trading. That's just it. It goes about 50-50 on the breakdown. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go into Discord. First thing I want to do is look at the dark pool levels. Why? Because that's going to tell me when there could be significant buying or rejection. So DP levels, and let's look at the SPY. And here we go. It's great. I don't really mind that the upper levels are missing right now because we're sitting at 408 pre-market. Let's see where we're at. 408.76. So here's what I tell myself. I tell myself, bull case scenario, Matt, it's going to dip. They're going to buy the dip. The market's going to rip higher, same as it did last week. So I come up with 2 scenarios. The first scenario, and I look at the SPY dark pool levels, and I look where the SPY is now, 409.39, and I'll go to the 3-minute chart, and I'll look where it had support on Friday, right at the 408 flat level, okay? So the first thing I tell myself is if I want to be bullish, I'm looking for the market to dip to 408, plus or minus 20 cents. Those are the times I'm going to get into calls, and where can the market rip up to? So let's look at the dark pool level. So I go to the dark pool level, and I go, okay, 408.28, pretty small level when you compare it to 396, 393, 390. So I say, okay, 10 billion. If we rip through that level, what's the next level higher? Well, it's not listed here. So I go, okay, 3 points is the increment, 3 points is the increment, 3 points is the increment. I go, okay, 408 plus 28, 3 points, 411.28 plus or minus 20 or 30 cents. So I tell myself right there, if I'm going to go bullish and I'm going to go into a day trade just today, that I'm going to get in at $408. I will buy calls on the SPY and I will ride them out to $411.50. Why? Because I know that's probably the next dark pool level, and we bounce off the support and we bounce off the rejection. So if the market is bullish like it was all last week, I'm looking for a dip out of the gate. Okay, 408, find support on the 1 minute. I see support, great. I'll get into calls at 408.22, 408.32, knowing that I'm getting out at 411.32, 411.52, 411.40, something to that extent. That's one strategy. My other strategy is, holy shit, oil is ripping higher. And let's think about why oil is ripping higher. So you have all these countries that got together and they say, okay, we're going to produce and we're going to sell less oil. Then you have the U.S. government, which came out, I don't know, in the last couple of weeks and said, we're not going to replenish our oil reserves. Does everybody remember that? We were originally going to replenish oil at $72. Then it went below $72 to $69. And our President Biden said that he was going to wait till a better price or wait a little longer in the future before replenishing his oil. Okay, oil for the country. I get it. I don't know. Our reserves are what, like 59, 62%? They're significantly down. Point is, now these other countries say we're going to stop selling as much oil, Russia's included, United Arab Emirates. I mentioned all the countries before. So what does that mean? It means oil just shot up 5%, 7% overnight. We still need to replenish our stocks, so there's still going to be demand there, which is why some people think oil is going all the way to 95. When I say some people, I mean people that I speak to on Wall Street think that oil could go all the way as high as 95. Okay, so let's just go right here. Here's what I mentioned earlier. The S&P finished the first 3 months of the year up 7%, rounding out back-to-back quarterly gains. This hasn't happened in any bear market in the 4 past decades. So understand, market was bullish. First quarter, fourth quarter, gains in both, consecutive gains in the market. However, that hasn't happened in a bear market in the past 40 years. So we got to go back to, I think it was 1983, which is what I said 40 years ago. 83 it happened, and I think 38 it happened, or 39. So that was interesting. Here's what JP Morgan did for the second quarter. The first quarter, let's remember, they did their collars on the SPY right at 406. Where did we go on Friday as they expired? We went right past 406 to 409. So their second quarter collars, okay, meaning they are long the SPY at 3860. Okay, so they expect the SPY to finish above 3860. They sold call contracts at 4,300, so they don't think the SPY is going to 430. That's what they're telling us. SPY is not going to 430. They are telling us they are bullish at 385, 386, and they're selling put contracts, right, at 3260. So they're selling the put contracts, collecting the premium. They're selling the call contracts at 4,300, collecting the premium, and they are in the 3860 long position. Interesting. These expire June, third week in June 2023. So they've got 3 months to be correct. Again, they're expecting support in the market. They're expecting the market to go up, but not past 430. That's it. Simple as that. And they were pretty accurate. Okay, again, the largest stocks, how they performed in quarter one. I mentioned the best performers already, but Apple, 27%, Microsoft, 20%, Google, 17%, Amazon, 23%, NVIDIA, 90%, Berkshire Hathaway, flat, Tesla, 68%, Meta, 76%, Visa, 8%, Taiwan Semiconductors, 25%, Exxon, down 0.6%, Johnson & Johnson, down 12.3%. Why is it interesting? Those are significant moves. So, again, a lot of those are on my watch list. Oh, here's what I'm doing. Besides for my new trading strategy, which I'm saying this to stocks, whether it's Coin or Meta or Apple, or I will trade Tesla. I love trading Tesla. But again, I'm going to be trading the SPY and the SPX. Today was last quarter, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, here's another same scenario I just put. Today was the last day, meaning Friday, of the first quarter. In Bloomberg's article, of the 14 previous bear markets, only 2 of the S&P 500 experienced back-to-back quarterly gains. Sorry, I said 1938 and 1983. It was 1938 and 1981, meaning what we already saw in the market. Nothing has to happen going forward. But understand, 2 consecutive quarters, fourth quarter and the first quarter, we had 7% S&P gain in the first quarter. I don't know what it was in the fourth quarter, but I know we started out in September wicked strong. So let's just say it was 7% and 7%. We haven't seen this, what just happened. It's only happened twice in the last 100 years, 2 times. And we've already seen it because now it happened a third time. Fourth quarter and first quarter positive for the S&P, 7% and like more than that, 8, 9, 11% last half of course. And we're in a bear market. So understand, I'm not telling you when it's going to happen, but I'm telling you it's going to get ugly. All right. We are the upper echelons of most of my charts. So yes, we could definitely break out, and some stocks will break out. However, I'm expecting it to get extremely ugly. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm damn well going to be prepared. Why? I already mentioned my new trading strategy. New trading strategy is I'm not trading any specific stocks anymore. Screw that. F that. I'll be in Neo and they'll do an offering. I'll be in something else, and an angel investor will come in and take 2 board seats, and the stock will pop 20%. And I'll be like, but the stock sucks. That's why the angel investors come in. Rather than that, I'm going to trade market direction. Yes, market direction has been kind of narrow. But again, if I had to guess on Friday, if we're going to be bullish or bearish as we were Friday and I was still a bear, I would have said 408's in the cards. I wouldn't have thought 409 or 410, but 408. So let's talk about the SPY today. Let's talk about the ranges that I think it's going to happen. So I'll go back. Let me just go back to Friday's range. I'm going to say about 5.5 points. Let's find the SPY. Here we go. The low on the SPY, 404.55. The high on the SPY, 409.70. How many points? 5 points. So I say to myself, okay, and I'm looking at the 5-day chart, and I'm seeing something like this, and I go, okay, 5-point range. Well, we gapped up. That took care of 3 of the points. So what's likely to happen? We saw some strong buying end of day. Again, bull case scenario is we're finding support right under $408 on the SPY. So the fact that it's sitting pre-market at 408.55, we go down, we go 407.93. We bounce off that, go higher. And the next inflection point that I'm looking at is really right around $411.50. I already explained that earlier on, that the dark pool level at 408.50, you got to go up 3 points. You're about 411.50 plus or minus 20 cents. So 411.50, 412, something like that. So again, bull case scenario, I think the market's going higher. I want to look at volume. I want to confirm on the 1 and 3 minute, and I want to catch the morning dip, because when I catch the morning dip and it goes up, I'm in, I'm out, I secured profit, because we know it likes to spike, then it likes to dip. Now let's talk about bear case scenario. Bear case scenario is we see something like the Hang Seng market, what happened on their Monday. So what happened there? Opened up here. We did almost a U. Okay, so the market's going to drop, then it's going to rebound. That's kind of what I thought. I told myself, I think the U.S. market, and I told myself before I even saw what the Hang Seng market did, and it closed flat. So let me give you my prediction on our market today. All right, SPY is going to close at 409.24, which is slightly red, less than like 0.1%. That's my prediction where we're going to close. Where we're opening, okay, we're opening down. We're going to spike up. We're going to drop and perform a complete U. That's what I'm looking for today. So how would I play that? Okay, I'm either going to play it in the morning. I'm going to say, okay, if we spike up, I'm going to find the rejection. If I find rejection, I'm going to go to SPY puts. I'm going to go to SPY puts, and I'm going to ride it down to the bottom of the curve. And when I see it struggling around the bottom and wanting to rebound, I'm going to sell. Now, remember, if I'm bearish, I'm going to go for the double dip philosophy that I like to see in the market. It means we dip once. We look like we're going to recover maybe around 10:10 in the morning, 10:09, 10:11. I'm giving you specific times. It drops, looks like it's going to recover, but it doesn't. It drops further. That's kind of what I'm expecting today. And I'm expecting a rebound U towards the end of the day. That's my prediction. Predictions are good because it's going to help me trade. Hopefully it helps you trade. You start seeing what's predicted and you go, okay, well, he said we're going to see that double dip. Then he said we're going to round the corner. So that's one scenario. That's more of a bear case scenario because we are going to dip and then we're going to finish exactly flat on the day. The bull case scenario is, well, they've been buying up the market every freaking chance they have, every dip they get. So what's likely to happen? Well, we're likely to find support right at the 408 level. And I pointed that out before. And then we're likely to push higher. And there's a ghost level all the way to basically 412. So what numbers do we have coming out this week? What economic data do we have? We have manufacturing PMI today, Monday. We have JOLTS on Tuesday, ADP payroll on Wednesday. ADP is going to be pretty important on Wednesday if I do pay attention to one. ISM services, which is your PMI. You have jobless claims on Thursday. So you have ADP payroll on Wednesday, jobless claims on Thursday. Guess what? No trading on Friday. Remember, it is Good Friday. And then we do have unemployment numbers coming out Friday and non-farm payroll numbers. I guess they didn't know about the holiday. That was a joke, sarcasm, no comments below. The point is we are only trading Monday through Thursday of this week. So if you're going to options, understand when you're buying options on Palantir or Palantir or Apple or whatever, it's expiring on Thursday at the close of market this week. Don't screw yourself. Make sure you buy yourself enough time. So what changed my trading habits? Why am I going to trade differently this week? Great freaking question. Okay, because I'm sick of seeing people on Twitter saying, yo, I just banked 20,000. Yo, I just banked 30,000. I knew the market was changing directions. I just don't want to put my whole freaking account there. These guys, these younger guys, they like to gamble. I'm not saying that I'm going to gamble in the market, but market direction is easy to tell. You look at the 1 minute and the 3 minute to get your confirmation. You look at volume. When you see the market changing direction, and again, we're going to have chop. Why should we have chop? Let's remember, oil prices going up. We still have a war in Russia and Ukraine. China's entered into energy deals with France, with Brazil. So a lot is going against the U.S. right now. So not only is our economy most likely headed into recession, But there's a lot of other shit going on, not to mention our oil reserves are somewhat depleted, and we were going to restock them at 72, but we didn't because we wanted to get greedy, and now oil's all the way up to, what's oil this morning, 79, 80? I got to check oil. Let's see, 79.29. No, it's got to be above 80, right? Yep. $80.12. What's that going to do? It's going to put downward pressure. Understand, as oil and energy goes up, what does it make? It makes companies spend more for those two products. Let's say you have a mining company. Guess what? Gas, oil prices just went up. Not to mention you're battling inflation. I have a friend who mines gold in Alaska, and he complains all the time. But gold prices are going through the roof. With that said, let's see what kind of questions we have today. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, please, if you like watching me, please, a thumbs up. It doesn't take more than you just clicking one button. Share this. Wynn's trying to pump. Yeah, we did that. Chat GPT is the only updated till September 21. The person is going to lose his socks. Okay, yeah. So there's a chance of that one. Thanks for sharing that one, Carlos. Yeah, but aren't they up to the fourth bot, the chat AI fourth bot? Okay. Banking earnings coming up in next week. Any thoughts on JPM, Goldman Sachs? You know, I was the biggest fan of Goldman Sachs. I didn't think Goldman Sachs can miss. And this is dating back to the 90s when I was actually in finance and everybody wanted to work for Goldman, and Goldman had the best, and JP Morgan gave out these free lunches. Anyway, Goldman always outperformed. However, all of these bankings are changing their models. So I don't know about banking earnings. If you wanted to get in, you really have to read their balance sheet and see where their shift is. The same way that I speak about the market shifting, and we're going from, Dow plays to energy plays, from energy plays to healthcare, from healthcare to return to normality with airlines and cruise ships. When I mentioned the rotations, the same is true with banks. They're rotating on where they're going to get and where they're going to make their most revenue. It used to be mergers and acquisitions. Some people had trading. Some people had, their client support with these deposits and then reinvesting the deposits and making, the treasury notes. Some have holding companies. Some others have mutual funds. So it really depends where the gist or the majority of their income and revenue sources are going to come from. I don't know. So rather than guess, you can look at the industry as a whole. If I was to look at XLF, I'm sure it looks extremely beat up. I don't think the banking crisis is over. So whereas some banks might surprise to the upside, I think there are going to be a couple banks that report and people are going to be like, holy shit, this bank is so close to going out of business. So please pay attention. Keep your ears open, because if you see a bank, I won't even give an example. Let's say Wells Fargo. You see it drop 20% one morning because they reduced they came out with their earnings, but they released their balance sheet and everything else. If all of a sudden the industry thinks that bank is going to sell off, understand it's not done with the pain. Same thing. If they find a bank that has superior earnings and made the first move, correctly, directing the revenue source to another angle, then that bank will continue to fly. Let's just see what we got here. Snow has 20,000 support, sitting at has a good run, fast 2 days. Any thoughts on the chart? I'll take a look at Snow. Let's see, Snow. And I appreciate you asking questions. I don't really follow Snowflake. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the 1 month chart. 1 month chart has support. Yeah, it looks like it's ripping through the roof. So, I mean, I can tell you right now, if today is a bullish day in the market, what's Snow going to do? It's probably going to go 4 or 5 points higher. If today's a red day, which I already predicted, we're going to start out at 409. We're going to do a complete U today. We're actually going to match what the Hang Seng market looks like. So if I'm correct about that, please join me tomorrow morning. Actually, Romy will be doing 8:45 tomorrow morning on YouTube. Please make sure you join him. I will be back on Wednesday at 8:30, the normal time. With that said, again, look at the Hang Seng market overnight. If you're part of Webull or moomoo, you could probably even Google it. You'll see that it started out, went like this, a little up, then it dropped. We had a second dip, and then we had a bit of a U-shaped. I expect our markets to do the same thing. So what does that mean? It means a lot of your stocks are going to follow the same shape or the pattern as the markets. If we do a bull case scenario, we dip to 408 and we shoot up, guess what? Snow's going to do the same freaking thing. Snow for me is a little risky. Anytime you're getting involved with a stock like this, first off, I know there's huge support. Why? Because look at the freaking chart from 135 to 154, 20 points in 3 trading days. That's pretty substantial. That's what, like 14%? Let's see, in the last 5 days, it went up 12.37%. So again, any stock that goes up, you know that it's going to come back down a little. However, is it done going up? Are they going to push it from 154 to 180 first before it comes back to 154? Possibly. I don't know. So you have to follow Snow a little more seriously with that. Now, when you talk about walls, or it has a 20,000 wall, those are just Those are just institutions putting up a wall, making it look really attractive, making people think, hey, it's not going to drop below this. They inflate the prices. I mentioned how to do that. I made a whole video. It was like one of my first videos I dropped, how I used to manipulate the market. All right, with that said, 9 a.m., got to head over to Discord. Going to speak about very specific levels of the SPY. I didn't do that on YouTube, but I will do that on Discord. They're about 1.5 points away from each other. That way you're following the intraday. We break above, you know we're going to the next level higher. We break below, you know you're going to the next level lower. It's an easy in and out trade. And that's what I'm going to